get into what no one talks about enough inside of the spiritual community. I just want to preface how I define spirituality. The way that I view spirituality is someone who is on a path to feeding their soul to its highest capability, and also finding that balance of the human experience and appreciating the interconnectedness of it all, realizing that there's gonna be ebbs and flows, and enjoying the journey as best as we can, but also realizing emotions is okay, basically a balance. That's how I view it. It honestly could be a very long-winded answer for me, but basically intertwining the soul and the human ego, using both to your benefit and highest good and for those around you. So I truly believe once you start giving that love and kindness to yourself, it naturally will start to happen for other people around you. And if we were all on that same journey, however we get there, it's gonna look different for everyone, but we would have a lot more empathy and compassion for, again, not only ourselves, but for those around us. Again, I could talk about how I view it and stuff like that all day long, but the thing that I think that not a lot of people make light of or emphasize this enough: spiritual bypassing. Now, I did not know I was spiritual bypassing until I had to look up why am I feeling a little off right now? There's something, I'm feeling a little bit stuck. And thankfully, there were some videos out there already made on this, and it really resonated, and it made me put, a title to what I was feeling. Spiritual bypassing, according to Google, is the tendency to use spiritual practices to avoid facing unresolved emotional issues, psychological wounds, or unfinished developmental tasks. The term was introduced in the mid-1980s by Buddhist teacher and psychotherapist John Wellwood. Now, how this showed up for me was I had got an apartment that I had been pretty much manifesting, visualizing, wanting to bring it into my life. I got it I would say it took about a year. It did not feel like a year when I was in it. It felt way longer. But when I look back, I'm like, wow, okay, it really did not take that long. But there was a few things I had to learn along the way, and I think that helped speed up the process. But I got this apartment, and I was on a high. Okay, like consciousness high. Like, I was so grateful. I was filled with so much gratitude, so much appreciation, so much love, and I was just, man, when I tell you I felt like I could breathe again, because I basically overcame an obstacle that I was going through in my life at that time. Really multiple obstacles, but I just was not comfortable where I was living and the whole living situation I had going on, and I was able to fix it, and that just brought me so much joy. Well, I started to realize, I'm like, why am I so happy? And it's not a bad thing to be happy now, right? But I was like, okay, maybe I'm doing this affirmation thing a little too much, because I feel stuck right now. I feel like I'm going crazy because I'm trying to be so positive and keep up that good energy, keep up the good things that was happening, that was flowing to me and my mom at the time. I did not want it to end. I didn't want that feeling to end. Then it hit me. After I watched the video, I was like, I'm spiritual bypassing. I'm trying not to feel any negative feelings at all ever again. And spoiler alert, you're gonna feel negative feelings. It's just how it is. Now, knowing how to navigate those negative feelings and being able to transmute it into something positive. Now that's where you want to be. But you have to acknowledge things that still need to be done, the work that still needs to be done. It's okay that I reached this achievement. I was able to achieve what I wanted. There's so many other things that still need to be worked on, and I'm basically avoiding it or trying not to look at it right now because I'm just so happy. And pretty much like the work is never done when you're on a spiritual path, and it's never over, which is a good thing, because I mean it's just eternal growth that you're always going to be experiencing. And again, that's a big part of what I consider being a spiritual person, is loving the growth that you get to see within yourself, loving the changes that you see yourself go through that make you a better person each and every day. I mean, you're gonna come across influencers or content creators who try to sell you like, oh, spirituality is so easy, or all you gotta do is this, it only takes this one thing. If it only took one thing, don't you think that we'd all be like in alignment by now? But that one thing, even if it is just one thing, it's gonna be different for everybody. And moral of the story, like, I just wanted to put my perspective on this topic that I feel like needs to be talked about more or recognized more, or maybe this is a warning sign that, hey, when you start to feel like you're stuck but you're happy but you're like, what like something's still off, most of the time you're probably spiritually trying to bypass. And again, I would say it happens when we're unaware of it. You just never want to feel sad ever again, and that's just impossible. And learning to just go through it. I was reading some article when I was doing research on the John Wellwood guy, and something that really stuck out to me is the only way out is through. Many people on spiritual paths don't realize practices and rituals are being used surreptitiously to plaster over deep wounds. They clocked it. They called me out. That's definitely what's going on. I'm trying to meditate every single day because I think it'll just fix everything, and it helps a lot. It helps to put you in that present moment. I definitely think it helps with that, but it's not going to fix every single one of your problems. There's something much deeper that we need to work on within our egos and within our human selves. And again, it's a balance. Look at all the negative things that you've been doing to self-sabotage, and you start to be aware of it, and then you put forth the work to remedy it. Then you're feeding your soul, and you're coming back to oneself. Most of what I'm saying is from experience. I'm speaking from the feelings and emotions that I went through and how I got through it. I think the biggest takeaway and the biggest way to manage this is awareness. Even my mom, we were having a conversation about something, and I was like, oh, do you think I'm a positive person? You know, because I'm sometimes intrigued how people perceive me sometimes. I don't let it get to me, but, you know, I just want to know that people can feel my good energy. Anyways, she was like, yeah. But you can be a little too positive. And that really got me thinking at first. I was like, how can someone be too positive? But you can. It's a part of toxic positivity, and you don't even realize it. You start to go deeper into, okay, why am I being this way right now? What is it that I'm not trying to feel? What is it that I'm trying to avoid? And after you've gained that awareness for each individual, things will start to unravel for you. And the biggest thing is allowing yourself to feel, whether it's a positive or a negative feeling, period. I really hope that made sense. I hope you enjoyed. I hope it resonated. Be sure to give it a like and subscribe.